All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Sean Cargill. I am one of the instructors for the Aviation Maintenance Training Program at South Seattle College. If you have any questions at any time, just raise your hand or um, indicate in some other manner that you have a question. If I'm going too fast, you want to go back and want me to elaborate on anything that I'm talking about, please ask at any time. Um, I'm here to answer your questions and help you understand what it is we do in the Aviation Maintenance Training Program. It is a 2-year program designed to teach people how to maintain aircraft. Prepare students to take the FAA practical exams that are required to obtain your FAA license. It's not something that's issued by the school. The school just gives you the training. We give you a completion certificate at the end of the 2-year program. And then that authorizes you to take the exams with the FAA. And it also teaches you to work successfully in the aviation maintenance industry. So if you want to go over to SeaTac Airport and work for Delta, Horizon Air, United Airlines, if you want to go into general aviation, which is the smaller single engine training aircraft, we have a number of flight schools in the Puget Sound area, as well as several corporate aircraft operators who all need mechanics to help them maintain their aircraft. The program is held at the South Seattle College main campus in West Seattle. There are placement tests required, and we have a dedicated academic advisor. Evan Aho is the academic advisor, and he's very good at helping students come up with an academic plan to help them complete all their requirements within the 2-year time frame. You will need either some prior college level math and English to transfer in, or completion of math and English classes at Seattle colleges, or if you're coming directly from high school, your transcripts up to a certain level should get you in. So what do we do there? We learn to fix things. We teach you everything you need to know about tools, shop safety. We teach you about the different career options, and we prepare you for those different career options. We help you understand what's going to be expected on the job at different places you may decide to go work. We take a couple of field trips. We take a field trip over to Renton Airport, as well as to the Museum of Flight in South Seattle. No prior technical experience is required. Some people may say, and you may hear, that if you're good with your hands or if you're a very technical person, then you can do this. I had no idea how to do anything when I started the program. I myself am an alumnus of the program. I went through and completed the aviation training program in 2009. And then I got a job working at Ace Aviation at Renton Airport in February 2010. And I was working there for 7 years before I came back to South Seattle and started teaching in 2017. And I've been teaching here for at least 6 years in April. But if you don't want to go working on airplanes, just having the training and the skills and the certification opens up a lot of doors for you. There are a lot of people that have what we call the A&P license, airframe and power plant. There's 2 licenses that you'll need: the airframe license that lets you work on the fuselage and the wings and the landing gear and the hydraulic systems, and the power plant license lets you work on everything in and around the engines. Having the airframe and power plant license lets you gives you a leg up when you're applying to jobs for Puget Sound Energy if you want to go work on the hydroelectric dams, if you want to work for Sound Transit and work on the light rail, if you want to work on either helicopters, yes, but escalators, elevators, amusement parks, any trains. There are a lot of people that go to work for BNSF Railway, working on the trains. All of those jobs will be available to you if you with the training that you get here. So even though we focus on maintaining aircraft, the skills are highly transferable and applicable to many other industries. The training that you receive can also be applied toward an Associate of Applied Science degree. So if you want to, at the end of your 2 years, you'll have most of the requirements you need for an associate's degree. If you want to transfer that 2-year experience to another college or 4-year university, you'd apply for an Associate of Applied Science transfer degree, and then those 2 years of college would transfer to and count toward a higher degree. So here are a couple of pictures of what we have in the shop. So up on the left is students working on the engines, and these engines, most of these engines run, some better than others, but the students maintain them themselves. We, the instructors, don't do anything other than help the students maintain the engine. So the students will do the work. They'll inspect the components, remove and install, function check, leak check, push them outside, turn them on, make some noise, make some oil leaks, and then troubleshoot the problems, bring them back inside, fix what's wrong. Learn a lot with your hands that way. And down on the lower right-hand corner is a picture of our Boeing Field facility. We have 6 aircraft in a hangar at Boeing Field in various states of operation. We have a Learjet, a Cessna 172, a Lancer, which is a turboprop fiberglass fuselage aircraft, 2 Beechcraft Queen Airs, and a Robinson R-22 helicopter. Up on the left is a picture of a field trip we took to Delta Airlines hangar at SeaTac Airport. So they got to talk to the mechanics at Delta Airlines and ask them questions and see what kind of operations they do at SeaTac Airport. On the lower right-hand corner are some students fixing the Cessna 172 just before they turned that engine on and made it work. To give you some better idea of what you'd be expecting academically, the program is a full-time college-level program. So there's a lot of reading, a lot of book work, a lot of study required. We don't really hold your hand. We expect you to put in some time, some work, some effort if you really want to do this. It is Tuesday through Friday, 9 weeks per quarter, and we are 6 hours a day, either from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. We run 2 different shifts. So depending on what your work-life schedule is, there's one or the other class available to you depending on what works best for your schedule. The classes are 15 credits, so it's very difficult to take other classes at the same time that you're taking our class. Like I said, it runs 9 weeks per quarter. So we do get, the nice thing about our program is even though the quarters are very busy and intense, we end a little bit earlier than the rest of the college each quarter. So you get about 3 to 4 weeks break between each quarter, which is nice. We do run 8 quarters. We run through the summer. So it's 8 quarters, 2 full years, 2 full academic years, plus the summer quarters in order to complete everything. If you take a quarter off, it throws things kind of into chaos. You may have to wait 1 or 2 quarters in order to get back into sequence. So the classes are run sequentially. If you, like I said, if you miss a quarter or if you have to retake a quarter, it does make it a little bit harder to fall back in. But it is possible. Usually every other quarter, you shouldn't have to wait more than 2 quarters to get the class that you need. We'll spend about 1 to 2 days in the classroom, but even then it's only 1 to 2 hours in the classroom, and then the rest of the day we're in the shop, and then we're spending 3 to 4 days in the shop and working on projects, working with your hands. Most of the time spent in the program is in the shop, working on with the tools, working on the aircraft, working on projects to develop the skills that you need. There are subject tests about every week. So there's a lot of information that we cram into your heads each quarter, and over the 8 quarters, a lot of information. Most students also work full-time. So it's just way it is, if this is something you want to do, a lot of people will have to make the time for it. It's possible and it is doable. It's exhausting, but it is possible. A lot of people do it successfully. So here's a rough breakdown of how the program is designed. Your first class will be what we call AMT 105. And this is a introduction to aviation. If you don't know anything about airplanes, by the end of this class, you'll have some idea of what an airplane is, what it does. You'll understand some of the math, the physics about how an airplane works. You'll be introduced to the regulations and the legal limits about what we can and cannot do as aircraft mechanics. AMT 110 is an introduction to electricity, weight and balance, drawings, some tools. 115 is structures, hardware, more tools, repair. And then 120 is we can get into systems, hydraulics, environmental systems, oxygen systems, fuel systems. 205 is flight controls, fire protection, cabin pressurization. And MT 210 is is the last airframe class. And then you'll do a review of electrical systems and study airframe specific electrical systems. You'll go over aircraft inspections and you'll study radio and navigation, among a couple other things to round out the airframe skills. It's kind of the airframe capstone. After you're done with your 6th quarter, you'll be eligible to take your FAA, your first set of FAA exams, your airframe exams. After that, you'll only have 2 more quarters, AMT 225 and 230, which are all about the engines, power plant theory, systems, anything, how the engine itself works on the inside, everything that bolts onto it, how all that stuff works. You'll learn about how to maintain it, service it, operate it, inspect it, troubleshoot it, remove and install. After those 2 classes, you'll be eligible for your power plant exams, and then you're sent out into the world to go fix airplanes. Anybody have any questions so far? I will carry on. So here's some of the things you make. I'm sorry, does somebody have a question?
No.
Okay. So here are some of the things you're going to learn in the program. Physics. I love physics. Math. A lot of people will stress about the math. There's not that much math, and we do some math up through trigonometry, mostly electricity, but it's not that much. You'll get through it. Aerodynamics, electricity. That's a lot of fun. You'll understand the basics of what electricity is and how it's used and how we use it in airplanes and how to maintain electrical systems, how to read wiring diagrams, how to use a multimeter, everything. Forming sheet metal, so you'll learn how to cut, bend, rivet, pieces of sheet metal together. You'll work with composites, how to do composite repairs. You'll learn how to work with hydraulic systems. You learned how they work, how to read schematics, how to service hydraulic systems, remove and install hydraulic components safely. You'll learn about oxygen, fuel, and pneumatic systems. A pneumatic system uses pressurized air, either from an air pump or from the engine, bleed air, feel the air that comes off of the engine. You learn how to measure, rig, remove, and install flight controls. You learn about the instruments, how to remove and install them, how to read them, how they work on the insides. You learn about how turbine and reciprocating engines work. Reciprocating engine is another word for the 4-stroke piston-driven propeller airplanes you see flying around here. Most of the single-engine training aircraft are reciprocating engines. You learn about engine overhaul, remove and install, component replacement, inspections, regulations, propellers, governors, fire protection systems, helicopter physics. They have a whole set of physics just about helicopters. They fly completely differently than aircraft, fixed wing aircraft do. About landing gear, wheels, brakes, and a lot of other things. There's a lot of information that you're exposed to in the 2 years, and you'll be surprised by the time you get to the end of it how much you've learned. So I said we've got the hangars at main campus. We have 3 buildings next to each other, 3 adjoining buildings on main campus, and we have 1 hangar at Boeing Field. We have 12 real aircraft for you to work on, actual airplanes that used to fly at one point, and we have the logbooks to go with them. So you learn on the airplanes how to inspect them, fix them, maintain them, operate them. And then we have a whole engine bay just full of engines on run stands. So you can get to all parts of the engine. They're on wheels, so you can push them outside and run them up. The faculty, we have like 7 or 8 faculty in our program right now. All of us have worked at some point in the industry, working on aircraft, working for aircraft maintenance companies. We have 1 person in our faculty cadre who's an examiner, a designated mechanic examiner, the gentleman on the right, on the upper right, in the suit and tie, that's Anton. He's one of the designated mechanic examiners. So after you're done with the program, you can take your exams with him. And if you pass the test, you become a licensed FAA airframe and power plant mechanic. Some of our mechanics have worked for the airlines. I myself worked in general aviation. I worked for AC Aviation, which was a smaller company, single shop. And some of our instructors worked for aircraft. Excuse me. Sorry, my phone is making noise. I apologize. And we also offer iBest support. That's I can't remember I can never remember what iBest stands for. But it's academic support in the classroom. There's a designated adult education specialist in the classroom for your first 2 classes, AMT 105 and 110 in the morning classes, just to help people develop study habits and learning habits in the classrooms to help them succeed in the first 2 classes that they can use through the rest of the program. Our graduates have gone on to pursue successful careers in these areas and many more. Many of them go on to work for Delta Airlines. The picture up on the top right, there's 4 students right there. All of them work for Delta, and all of them are mechanics at Delta now. When they were in this picture, they were cabin maintenance, and now they're all flatline mechanics. Some of them go to work for helicopter companies, general aviation flight schools, corporate aircraft. Some go on to work for Boeing if you like that. If you can get into Boeing, some people really like it. It's got really good pay, really good benefits. If you want to go work for a specific engine manufacturer or component manufacturer, we have a couple of recent graduates who are working at Boeing Field, working for CFM, working on the 737 engines, on all of those 737 MAX airplanes that are sitting on the ground waiting to be delivered. And out at Moses Lake and down in Victorville, California, all those engines still need to get maintained. So there's licensed power plant mechanics that are out there just maintaining those engines. You want to go work for elevator or escalator maintenance companies, amusement parks, light rail, or many other technical fields, like I mentioned earlier. How much does it cost? Some frequently asked questions. The tuition is approximately $2,000 per quarter. This is for an in-state resident. There are a lot of tuition assistance, financial aid, workforce funding, scholarships, and grants available to help people pay for that. There are a large number of students. I don't know if it's a majority or not. I don't have the actual numbers, but I know a lot of students are able to get through the program paying next to nothing because they're able to get a lot of their costs paid for one way or the other. You will need some tools, and a tool list will be provided in AMT 105, which will include screwdrivers, wrenches, sockets, just to begin with. And then you'll add tools to your kit as you learn more about the industry. And each time you go through each class in the program will have a specific tool list. So you'll put together tools in your bag as you go. There are also some workforce scholarships available to help pay for tools. If you have to take a quarter off, as I said, you may need to wait a couple quarters before the class you need is offered again. You'll just have to plan accordingly. I had to do that when I was going through school. I had a family member pass away, so I had to skip a quarter, and then I came back in 2 quarters later, and it wasn't a problem. The class the class schedule itself is not so flexible. Once you're in, you have to commit to it. It's meant to prepare you to work in the industry, so we treat it like a job. There is a little bit of flexibility, but it's up to the instructor. Some of our instructors are more lenient than others, and some are more strict than others. But for the most part, you should be on time to class every day, either at 7 o'clock sharp or 2 o'clock sharp. Class starts promptly at 7 or promptly at 2. It's not like a lot of academic classes where you can either show up or not and get the work that you need later. You need to be in the class most of the time. If you're not sure yet, that's okay. You can find out, you can get more information about it. If you take AMT 105 and don't like it, you're under no obligation to continue. That happens on occasion. People decide it's not what they want to do, and that's okay. But it never hurts to ask questions, get some more information, take one class. That's how I started. I didn't really know if this is something I wanted to do, so I just took the first class, and turns out I fell in love with it, and I've been doing it ever since. You can talk to other students who are in the program. There's no harm in trying it out. Ask for a tour of the hangar. Come look and see for yourself. So here's some more pictures of students working on these things. See, doesn't that look fun? I think.
Yeah, it does look fun. It looks pretty fun. I'm gonna cap you. I've been interested in aerospace engineering for a little bit now.
Yeah.
I was a curling student at South Seattle College,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen the planes and things. I've walked by the little I don't know, the little hallway that leads to the outside, and
Uh-huh.
I've seen students coming out of it. I just got a job, but I can come to the class that starts from 7 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
But do I learn coding in this class too? Is that a possibility, or is that another course that I would have to take?
No, we don't do anything with coding. We don't do any of the programming. Anytime an aircraft mechanic has to do anything with a computer, we're just removing and installing. If there's any programming that has to be involved, that's going to be very specific, and you'll learn. That's something you would learn on the job.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I understand.
But there is.
You think this is a great career?
I love it.
Did you like your time in it?
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I
I
love
love
it.
planes. I've loved
Hmm.
technology my whole life as a little kid.
Hmm.
I wanna be able to get in a plane and being able to build it myself. I want to actually be a rocket ship, a person that builds rocket ship. But I don't know how to even get there. I think I'd
Mm,
have to start here
that's a good start.
and get to
So
learn,
one,
the whole
yeah,
skies.
sure. One proposed pathway for you to consider is if you do start with this. We've had a couple of students come through here who either have had engineering degrees or are now pursuing aeronautical engineering degrees. What this does, the 2 years of aircraft maintenance makes you a better engineer because you understand how the thing you're designing is going to fit into how the airplane actually works. You'll design it in such a way that it can actually be maintained. You'll make a better designed product that way. If you want to
And
get into, I'm sorry,
when
go
does
ahead.
this class start? When does the class start? How?
The next class will start. We have a cohort starting in spring quarter.
Okay,
So
spring
next quarter.
quarter.
Yep. And if you aren't able to start in spring quarter, we start again in the fall. So every fall and spring quarter, we start AMT 105. We start a new cohort every 2 quarters.
I'll make sure I join the spring then, because at least I got to try it out myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, try it out. Yeah, we had one student who came through recently who, while he was I don't recommend anybody try this, but while he was going through A&P school, he was also going through the bachelor's for aeronautical engineering at the University of Washington. This guy was nuts.
That is hard.
Yeah.
I
But
knew
he
a
was
guy
smart
that
enough.
used to go to University of Washington, and He used to run or jog from there every day to our apartments down in
Mm.
Renton. And it used to take him hours to get there, but he used to do it every week, at least one time a day.
Oof, that's
So I
crazy.
believe that guy has dedication. That guy has dedication. I like no one.
Yeah,
Wow, you meet really good students there. That guy gives you motivation, makes you want to keep teaching, seeing kids like that, don't it?
it does. It does. Yeah, we get some good students come through. It's really really inspiring, really motivational. So here's an example of a project that some of the students did. So there's a support cable on this cabin door that broke. It pulled through the skin, and the students actually fabricated a repair for it. They actually made this piece in gray off on the left. What is
Oh,
it?
wow.
Let me highlight this. Yep. So this piece right here, the students fabricated that from scrap metal. They bent it. There's a little flange right up here that they bent. They drilled the hole, they matched the holes, they drove the rivets, they put the hardware back in, and then they fabricated let me see if I can highlight it. This piece right here, they fabricated that from scratch because that was
Oh, wow.
deteriorated, worn out. Yep. They did a really good job. So there are things in the aircraft where you can fix them.
Yeah,
Here's
that would be a lot. That would be more useful in other things too, aspects in life more than just aircrafts,
yep,
cars,
absolutely.
motorcycles. I really like motorcycles. And
Yep, motorcycles are good too. So these four students took all the cylinders off this engine, replaced all the seals on it because it had a bad oil leak, and then they pushed outside, and the engine runs better now. This guy on the right, he's a Delta mechanic now, and these same four students worked on this engine that you can see running. This is the first time this engine had ever run in years. I don't know the last time,
oh,
but they got that engine running.
yes.
Here's some students working together to fabricate a wing that they made from scratch. If you want more information, you can contact Evan Aho. He is the academic advisor for aviation maintenance. There's his phone number, his email address. You can enroll online at southseattle.edu. If you need to take any placement tests or transfer any credit, Evan can help you do that. He can help you figure out what information you need to get in to meet the requirements and to help you register for AMT 105. He can help you create an academic plan. And if you aren't sure where to go next, you can contact me at any time. There's my email address, there's my office phone, and you can either ask Evan or Michelle McGreen or myself for a hangar tour. Just come find me and say hi, and we'll show you what we're all about.
Okay. I'll make sure to come by
Okay.
and check it out even before I start. And I'll come by, I think tomorrow or next week. I
Uh,
gotta go get my diploma from the Career Link anyway, so
they're
I'm
good.
gonna try to come
Yep.
see by you.
Yep. I won't be there. I'm gonna be down with my class at the Boeing Field hangar on tomorrow and Thursday, and then we're off on Friday. And then our last two days are Tuesday the 7th and Wednesday the 8th, and then we're done for the quarter.
Oh yeah, because you guys stop early. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. You told us in the
Mhm.
beginning.
Yeah. Our final exam. The class I have right now, this is their last quarter.
Wow.
Yep.
It's
And then
gonna be a
they're off.
fast 2 years since there's summer classes.
It goes by fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think when you first start, 2 years seems like a long time, especially considering how much of a grind it can be, but it goes by fast.
And I used to do in Cape Town, I used to go to school from January to December. And it seems like pretty down here it was pretty odd that we got those breaks. But for that it would seem pretty normal and I feel like it would go by faster with it.